What's up, everyone? I am Dimebot, and welcome back to Flight Sim and Favorite Places to Fly 2025. Today, we're going to be taking a trip out to the American West, to a little town that sits in a bowl in the Mojave Desert. You may have heard of it. It's known as Sin City, Vegas, or Las Vegas. That's right, it is time to check out the gambling center of the world, as they like to bill themselves, the entertainment center of the world. This is a wild town. Let's see how well it's represented in the sim. It should be interesting. Let's go ahead and get flying. Alright guys, we are cleared for a straight out departure. We're going to go ahead and roll before we end up inside of another jumbo jet, which totally a thing that happened while I was loading in. As you can see, the Airbus in front of us has no landing gear. I guess they're on that new hover technology. I'm going to go ahead and rotate and leave this kooky airport behind. So, Vegas, we all know it for gambling. You can see the strip right off there to our right, including the Sphere. I'm going to be heading that way, but it's not always been that way. One of the earliest incarnations of the town was as a Mormon fort that they used as a supply point halfway between the East Coast and Los Angeles. Now, that was abandoned pretty quickly, but it still stands at the corner of Vegas and Washington. After that, the city was actually incorporated in the early 1900s when land along the Union Pacific Railroad tracks was sold and turned into the city. 1931 is when Vegas really came into it, so that's when Nevada legalized gambling. That's going to lead to the Vegas we know today with gaming. That is what they call it, to legitimize it in Vegas. Here you're going to see some casinos starting to come in off to our left here. Now, none of this would have been possible if it were not for the government building the Hoover Dam tunnels, bringing in workers that needed a place to live, and blow off some steam. The nuclear test that took place about 60 miles to the northeast was here, leading to the name of the Atomic City. You could actually stand and watch the detonations and get a healthy dose of radiation fallout if you want to. Looks like David Copperfield is playing down there. That is the Sphere up ahead of us. Vegas has only grown and diversified and become more and more wild ever since. Let's see the Eiffel Tower. It's come a long ways from the 50s when people like Howard Hughes took up residence here. The mafia influence on the town is well documented. Just look up Lucky Luciano if you want to know more about that. And the Sphere below us. Now, I actually looked it up, guys. This is not something that they just arbitrarily put in the sim. The Sphere actually does this emoji face. It's a bit wild looking, but it is a thing that the Sphere does in real life, so it's not that crazy. I'm going to loop us around and come back down the strip. Now, we all know that you lose some fine detail when you get this close to things in the sim. However, as we pass back down the strip, I think that they've done a pretty good job considering that I am flying pretty low and pretty slow. Go ahead and pass by this one. This one right here really should be burned to the ground. Let's keep on moving. And as I bring us in, this is the iconic part of the strip. There is the Mirage. That is supposed to be Big Ben. There is Caesar's Palace, Harrah's. We should be coming up. You know, there's the Eiffel Tower. We should be heading down towards Mandalay Bay. I doubt that the fountains here. The fountains are not working in the sim. Not a big surprise. And this, honestly, this does look a little rough when we're this close to it, but if I were to pull up and gain a few thousand feet, this would look entirely acceptable. There's the Park MGM, New York, New York. I think, realistically, they've done a pretty good job. Go ahead and throttle up, and let's gain that aforementioned altitude and just have a quicker look. Also, HyperX and America's Got Talent. So, really, they absolutely nailed one of the most heavily branded cities in the world in the sim, being super branded. Let's try and avoid encroaching too much on McAllen International's airspace. As you can see, this is a pretty sizable airport for where we are, sitting down in this bowl. And I want to call attention to that. It's not just about the city. We are down in this bowl in the Mojave Desert, and you can see all of the mountains surrounding. It is not too far of a flight to go see some other sites like the Hoover Dam from here, and you are, as I said, you are out west. If you want to make it to California, it's not really that far of a flight. You do have some mountains to contend with, but it could just lead to an interesting flight. Now, we've gained a fair amount of altitude here, just in this short climb. And from up here, as is typical with the sim, a lot of the imperfections start to fade away, and what we're left with is a pretty convincing recreation of Vegas. I think it looks pretty good from up here. A very interesting city. Only city in the world that could have something like the Sphere, I feel like, sitting right next to a recreation of the Eiffel Tower and Big Ben. Good old Vegas. But that will do it for today, guys. Very, very interesting flight. It was pretty much everything I hoped for. I wanted it to be pretty interesting, and it is an interesting city. So if you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe. It helps me out more than you know, and it notifies you guys when I put up new content. We are streaming every day over on twitch.com/Dimebot, so come check that out. And if you really want to support me, become a channel member. And if you have a place you want me to fly, well, leave it in the comments below, and we'll see if we can get to it. If you are here till the end, thank you. Watch time is everything. Thank you for feeding me that sweet, sweet watch time for the algorithm. I'm Dimebot. I'll see you guys next time.